Hello together and welcome to the show. My guest tonight is Stephen from Denmark. And Stephen is a targeted individual. He lives, he's targeted since many, many years. And he has a small business and he sells scooters and motors. And yeah, we will talk a little bit about Stephen's history, about his experiences as a targeted individual tonight. And Stephen, welcome. Nice that you are here tonight. I'm very glad to have you.
Thanks, Harold. Thanks for inviting me on.
Maybe you want to tell a little bit, how did everything start in your life? How did the targeting start? How did you recognize that something strange is going on? For just to say, for the people who don't know what it is, a targeted individual is a person who is harassed and who is followed and who is attacked with directed energy weapons, with neuroweapons, and also gang stalking, organized stalking. And some of the victims also have artificial voices in their head, voice to skull technology, artificial telepathy, but not everyone has this. And yeah, but maybe you want to talk about yourself, Stephen. What is going on in your life?
Yeah, my name is Stephen Bell. I'm 38. I am from Denmark. Have lived here most of my life. But as you may notice, I have an English accent, and that's because I'm half English. I have also spent a few years living in England, if you don't already know. And I think the targeting, as I know it now, it really began in 2008, where I started to mention, realizing, or I have realized afterwards, that my life fell apart, and I was making some very, very poor decisions in certain crucial situations, and it all led to me spiraling out of control, not only on drugs, and my life just went completely downhill from a very good level to the very bottom. And it's in this period of time from 2008 and to around 2011 and 12 where I began to realize more and more and more that I was being targeted by external forces that are related to the government and intelligence agencies. And since I have woken up, one might say, I have also obviously started to research a lot, and now I know much more what is going on and how the tactics and whatnot work. But in the beginning, when you become a target individual for the first time, you really have no clue what is going on, and you are being influenced from outside sources, and so your life often takes a very big tumble.
Yeah, that's the problem. People don't know what is going on in the beginning.
Right.
And there are so many things at once that are happening to you. You are followed, your flat is being broken in, and things disappear. Your computer is manipulated, and so on, and you don't understand what is going on. This is very difficult, especially in the beginning, until you see what is behind. And it's very interesting that you also mentioned that the police is behind it, and the intelligence agencies or secret agencies. And this is also what I think who is behind, because it's too obvious that there is a huge, very huge organization behind, with really much money and really top equipment. And this cannot be done by just people.
Anyway, no.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah, what I was wanting to add is, like, you see how they have carte blanche. They can do whatever they want, and you cannot get any help from the relevant authorities. So if you have some proof of what is going on to some extent, there's nobody who's willing to help you within the system, even in so-called democratic countries like Denmark and Germany. And that's a telltale sign that it's intelligence agencies and states.
Yeah, because they are above the police. If you go to the police and you say, okay, I'm followed by the intelligence agencies, by the secret agencies, they say, okay, that's not my business. I'm not allowed to do research against the agencies. Yeah, it's totally forbidden, because they are much higher above the police. The police is nothing against them, and the police knows that they are nothing. The hierarchy is is in this way, that secret agencies are on the top of the system, and the other police agencies are very, very much below and know it.
Obviously, I have there has been so many years where I have been targeted, and not only am I being targeted, there's a public social and political persecution of me going on. So the targeting of me is being made public by the very same state, of course, here in Denmark, and its intelligence agency, PET, and they are using the target individual program, as far as I know, first time in history, publicly. So everybody around me knows that I'm being targeted and I'm being ostracized and ridiculed and demonized and labeled guilty for all kinds of crimes that I'm never being made aware of or prosecuted for. But they are just doing all these things to justify that persecution of me that is going on publicly. And I don't know if your listeners know a lot about the Target Individual Program, but it's recently, up until very recently, it has been kept a big secret. But now it's out in the open and everybody knows it. It's an open secret, if you will. And this brings a new element to what it means to being targeted.
You said that the people around you know, everybody knows about it. How could you know that everybody knows? For example, maybe your neighbors or people in the shop when you go shopping or something.
Yeah.
Do they know that you are a target and they say nothing to you, but they behave strange to you? Is it right?
You might say I'm very notorious. Everybody in some way or sense not know me personally, but they know of me by reputation or by this persona that the government has been doing so much to propagandize and indoctrinate the general public with. So anywhere I go, people have some kind of inkling of who I am and what is going on. And not only that, based on my geolocation, as far as I can tell, they are broadcasting synthetic telepathy that will be sound without it being sound, communications to everybody in my surroundings. So people in my surroundings are being told things. They are being told to act in certain ways. They are being told not to say certain things. And obviously, I can provoke a reaction that tells me kind of what I already know, if you understand. And I can also see complete strangers just acting very, very out of character, as if they had some kind of knowledge of who I am or what is going on that particular day. So it can be any number of things that highly suggest that they are well aware of the situation.
It's a complete miracle to me how people can be informed and not talk about it. For example, people are told that you are a criminal, that you are a very bad person, and nobody talks to you. Nobody tells you, hey, look, there was this person told me something about you. And this is really strange. People are very hateful to you and act very, very bad to you, but not one person tells you, hey, come on, there was this guy who told me something about you. Is this true? Is this really true or not? Yeah, this is a very easy thing to do, but nobody is doing that. And so it's a miracle to me how people can behave in that way. Yeah.
It's quite remarkable how a whole population they are able to control, micromanage a whole population to this extent. Obviously, people are going to give me hints now and again, and many people have also, in not indirect ways, let's say, told me things and tried to to ask me certain things. But these people who have done so, for example, I do martial arts. I trained a lot in Aalborg. I did Thai boxing and boxing, and obviously I had quite a good relationship with most people. Not that we could have a proper conversation that was without it being influenced or micromanaged in some way. And these people who did not have a indifferent attitude or who didn't attack me, they will quickly find themselves becoming target themselves and put in the government's propaganda campaigns. Because, as I say, I'm being targeted publicly, so the government and intelligence agencies, they have to continuously justify this, not just once, but they have to repeat and repeat and repeat the same old propaganda lines. I call it the merry-go-round. And these people who have been kind to me or who have been decent, they quickly found themselves becoming a prop in the propaganda campaigns, and then they are attacked, especially in and then I'm going to be blamed for the attacks that they are directing towards people, and it's typically just some kind of bizarre, perverted nonsense that they try to incriminate or put on people.
Well, it must be a huge system who is behind that to do this to a person. And it's not only one person. As we know, there are many thousands, 10,000s of people around the world. But to do this, you need a huge system to be able to do this. Like like a secret service or police system or something. But all these things to harass somebody in this way must be very expensive. It costs thousands and thousands of euros and dollars and what else.
We're talking millions here, definitely, because they have to have a satellite on my location.
So it's also satellites involved. It's directed energy involved, energy weapons, and all stuff of neurotechnology. But the big question is why would they do this for a person like who did anything wrong to anybody? A law obedient person.
Well, I have to
do this.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm not. I haven't always been a law-abiding person at all. I have had a criminal background. So when this started, from my early, late teens until into 2011 or something, I have been involved in all kinds of criminality. But you can call this criminality normal crime, like drugs and fights and weapons and stuff like this. I have been involved, but obviously, since the program or this thing began, I have turned my life completely around, and now there has been so long since I have committed any crimes or anything that I actually have a clean criminal record. And despite having a clean criminal record, even an extended criminal record, which goes way beyond what is normally on a criminal record, I'm still being blamed and accused of being some kind of sex criminal without ever having a case against me in any way, shape, or form for this type of criminality. So this goes into the way that they justify themselves to the public to do what they're doing to me.
Yeah, but the question is why do they do it? What do you think? Did they do it to change your life from a criminal to a law-abiding person, or to a non-criminal, or what is the reason why they are doing this? What do you think?
I don't know the full reasons. I have some ideas. I think the targeting of me began way before that I even knew about it, so way before 2008, but I can't say for certain. So I think this has something to do that began they started to take an interest to me in my childhood, and it's some kind of experimentation that has continued, as has been seen previously from the MK Ultra days, where they did experiments on people from all kinds of walks of life. And there are there have been documentaries of people from Denmark who have been experimented on by the CIA in connection with the MK Ultra. And I personally think that this is a continuation of the targeting of me, the situation that we find ourselves in now, especially in relating to me being publicly persecuted and targeted with this program for everybody to see. This is not just something that has happened. This is something that has been planned meticulously, and it's something that is being funded from the very highest levels of government.
This is the only thing that makes sense, because most of the TIs worldwide are not criminals. They have nothing to do with any kind of criminality. If they are totally normal persons, not whistleblowers, nothing else, not very important to anybody. No. But although they are targeted, they are inside of the target program, and nobody knows really why. Why would somebody attack a woman 60 years old who did nothing wrong to anybody in her life, just a normal person going to work for all her life, doing nothing special, and suddenly she gets attacked by any kind of neural weapon or a voice to skull. Why would somebody do this? And in my opinion, the only reason why they are doing this is they need people to experiment. They need normal people in their homes, at their workplace, everywhere, to attack them, to see how they can develop their technology, the weapons, and so on. There are so many experiments going on. Yeah, this is the real reason why they are doing it.
Definitely. There's nothing that I have done in my life that will put me on the intelligence agency's radar. It's just not, it doesn't make sense. So it's 100% experimentation that has brought this about. Why they have chosen me, I don't know. I think it may have something to do with my dad side of things. And I'm saying this because he has recently passed away. And I didn't have a very good relationship with him because he didn't want to. Obviously, I know everybody around me have an idea of what is going on, and nobody, including my own family, wanted to tell me about this. So previously, I didn't want to have any contact with them. But recently, he had became diagnosed with terminal cancer, and nobody told me anything. And apparently, he was trying to get a hold of me his last days of his life, and he couldn't get through on my phone. It was apparently being the number was being blocked, and nobody else was willing to tell me. But people around me knew that he was ill. I have later found out even people at my Thai boxing gym indirectly told me that I should probably call England and see what's going on. But I didn't understand what they were telling me at the time. But I came to realize afterwards, when thinking back on everything, that everybody except myself knew that he was ill, and nobody wanted to put me in contact with him because they're afraid of what he was going to tell me, because people on their deathbed tell to be much more open about things that they couldn't talk about when they were well and when they had their life themselves. So I believe that's why they blocked me from speaking to him before he died, and they also blocked me from going to the funeral because I could have spoke to his family and friends, and this was sabotaged as well. So I think it's just an idea, but I think that the program or the choosing of me personally has something to do with my English side of the family.
When you go back in your history as a TI, as a targeted individual, to the start where it began, can you explain how did you recognize there is something strange going on? Did you have stalkers on the street? Did you have pain in your body, or what kind of attacks? How can you describe what kind of attacks do you experience?
Well, from 2008, as I said, everything just began to crash. And I also think that my girlfriend at the time, that before this even began, they were trying to influence her to kind of to put me in awkward situations and tried to make me fall out with all of my friends and stuff where I lived at in Aalborg. And obviously, I had a huge part in that too. But as they are communicating to everybody around me now through synthetic telepathy, I believe that they did that then. And when my life began to crash, I moved to England to get out of the drugs that I was in, and I had a clear understanding now that I look back at it that everybody around me at the time in England, Brighton too, knew what was going on without me personally knowing, as I know now, what is going on. Now, I'm obviously being they're not subtle with what they're doing, so I'm being hit with synthetic telepathy, often bombarded with synthetic telepathy. This is the technology where they can communicate to you without it being sound, but your inner ear is understanding the signal as if someone was speaking to you. Synthetic telepathy or voice to skull technology is being used. I'm being hit with directed energy weapons. They are often going after my interdigestive system and my bladder, needing me to go to the toilet a lot more than I otherwise would. And this has become gradually worse and worse and worse. And I have seen the doctors with it, and it's through pulsed microwaves that they are causing these effects. And while causing these effects, they also use them in their propaganda campaigns to discredit and ridicule me, and often try to make it difficult for me to go places because of the problems that they're causing me. And as I say, they're not hiding it; they are flaunting what they are doing. I'm also subjected to ruthless sleep deprivation. It's a common thing that's happening almost every day, and there is a yeah, and I can't obviously I'm not allowed to have any kind of organic interactions with others, so I can't build any relationships with anybody in any way, shape, or form. So my life, I have been completely isolated, and people are directly being prohibited from having any kind of contact with me that is of any substance or that is organic. And sorry, yeah, so there is a long list of things that they're doing, and every time I try to do something about the situation I find myself in, I'm just being ignored, stonewalled, or blocked, gaslighted, especially. So I have tried a lot of things, and I'm being subjected to a lot of extrajudicial methods of torture and harassment.
What is happening when you meet some new people, maybe in a restaurant, or you maybe meet a girl, a woman, you
Yeah.
you find her interesting, and you think, okay, it would be nice to meet her, to date her. What is happening then? That's very
Well,
interesting because they did it to me too.
yeah.
When I tried to meet women, there was also always a kind of agent who was on the scene and who acted strange or did something or
Yeah.
intervened. They intervened in many ways.
Right.
The same to me. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't even get that far anymore. They are petrified of me having any kind of relationship with others. It doesn't mean it doesn't have to be a girlfriend. It can also be just a friendship or someone that you talk to on a regular basis. They simply do not allow it, and people who do so anyway, as I say, quickly find themselves being targeted and put in these propaganda campaigns that are being broadcasted to the entire population, not just of Denmark but also of the UK, and I suspect Germany and the US. And they're literally pumping out propaganda campaigns where I'm supposedly the protagonist without me personally really having much involvement whatsoever. Obviously, they're using fragments of my life in their propaganda campaigns, but I can't do or say anything that really changes anything myself personally. So they're just using me as the pretext to run this program.
You earlier mentioned your friends. How did your friends react when it started, or your family? You said your father was in England.
Yeah.
Can you tell how your family reacted to all this?
In the beginning, I had close contact with them and I had trust to my family, but immediately they wanted me to get in contact with the psychiatric institutions, and they were framing it in such a way that this was going to be my out, that I was going to get a new life, a new identity, and I was going to have a future. But I quickly found out that they were probably being lied to themselves, you know. But nonetheless, they tried to have me institutionalized and tried to have me connected to the psychiatric wards. Luckily for me, I quickly found out, and even the psychiatric hospital, whatever, in the beginning said there's nothing wrong with you. All you have a problem is detoxing from drugs. But it didn't take long for them to change the tune, and suddenly I realized that it's all because they wanted. For example, now they would love for me to be having all kinds of diagnoses and have it all backed up, so that they can just section me. But obviously they can't because I haven't been institutionalized in that way.
The psychiatry is a part of the system. Yeah, they use it to get people out of the way. If
Yeah,
you have that stamp that you're you're mental ill, that
yeah, mentally ill.
you
That's
can't
right.
get away from it. Yeah,
Right, yeah,
you have it all the time until you die. Yeah? You have it for all your life.
yeah. So now they can't do that at all. I have even got a hunting license, so I'm in good standing officially, even though I'm being targeted, right? So if obviously if I was some mental case in real life and with all kinds of diagnoses, I wouldn't be able to have a hunting license. Uh, so this is kind of what can you say, a piece of information that shows you that they have not succeeded in that regard. So are much harder to discredit in otherwise.
Yeah. You also have a shop for where you sell motors and scooters.
Yeah.
Did they attack your shop in any way? Because
Yeah.
this is what they do in many cases. They try to destroy the people's jobs, their income, to make them jobless. Can you explain how they did what they did to you?
Yeah, well, in 2020, I founded a small business called One Stop Engine Shop, where I renovate engines, two-stroke engines and scooters, and I have a website where I sell them. And I obviously do marketing on Facebook and DBA and other places. The business is quite successful, increasingly so. And because of this organic interest in my small business, they are trying to discredit my small business, my capabilities as a small engines mechanic. They are directly trying to prohibit people from buying their stuff, their engines, scooters, and parts from me. I would suggest around 90% of all the sales that I would have had are being blocked, and people have to put in requests. But with the government, I don't know the exact how it happens, but I know for sure that people have to put in a request to buy something and they have to be given the okay. And there are literally dozens of people every month waiting to buy something from One Stop Engine Shop. And most of the time they're being prohibited. And other in this regard, people are being coerced or being suggested to that they should try to slander me, my name, and my small business on Facebook. And
They give
obviously,
they can give you bad comments on eBay or
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
On the comment feed is often being bombarded with people who clearly have who clearly are repeating the same talking points. They can be miles apart with no affiliation between each other, but they will be saying the exact same thing, the same talking points over and over again. And it's not just once or twice, but it happens regularly on a continuous basis. So it's very prolific.
Well, that all sounds very horrible. There is
Yeah,
so much bad energy around you, like around every TI.
yeah.
Did you do something to escape? Did you try to run away, or did you try to shield yourself with something, with material or stuff?
Yeah. Obviously, there is no escaping it. You can't. Obviously, I have not tried to go to the North Pole or somewhere completely desolate, but I have been in planes before, and the signal or the connection to me, to my whatever it is that is tracking me to make this possible is just as good as it is in the air as it is on the ground. So I don't think there's any way to get out of it just by moving your location, at least within a decent country. I don't know as I say, I don't know how it looks on the North Pole, but you know what I mean. Other than that, I have built a proper shielded enclosure room. So a little aluminium box which is welded, and I have a door where I use gaskets, shielding gaskets, that proper stuff. So there is a proper enclosing, and you have vents that are honeycomb, so the signal can't get through. So in principle, or in theory, maybe a better word to put it, this is airtight, at least as it relates to electromagnetic signals, and this is helping. I have around 80 dBm of shielded effectiveness, which is a lot, but it's not a lot to block everything from being to stop everything. But for example, last night here on the 5th of November 2023, this morning I was being heavily bombarded, and they were trying to influence me in such a way that I was watching, or they were communicating something to me, which I was watching as a mental picture, like a movie, and they were trying to cause me to have an erection by showing me all kinds of pornographic material. But I was not feeling anything erotic about it, but I was seeing the movie that they were sending me without the effects that they wanted to cause. And the only reason that they didn't succeed in this sexual assault is because I have the shielded room. I have experienced it previously where I did not have the shielded room, where they can actually inflict such a thing on you.
Can you tell something about the costs of such a room? Because I'm thinking since many years to build myself a shielded room, but
Right.
the material is very expensive. For example, if you buy plates of copper or of aluminium, this is not cheap.
It's
And
not
a
cheap.
lot for a room. You really need a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I probably spend around 20,000 krona.
Okay. So how much euros? How much is this in euros?
I don't know. Well, 7.5 the euros worth. I can work it out if you want.
Well, I think many people tried to do this at home, but of course you have to you need the right material, and you
So
have
that's
to.
that is 2,700 euros. And then
Okay.
you also have the welding machine and
What kind of machine?
A welding machine, a MIG. I use the MIG machine. So a welding machine, right? You have MIG, you have TIG, and you can use either.
Okay, I don't know what it means, but
No, but it's a kind of welding machine that you need to build, because you're welding the sheet metal in place.
yes,
So you have a complete. It's sealed, right?
yeah.
It's not just taped together. It has to be, as I say, airtight. Obviously, if you have a honeycomb of a certain size, that will block the signal from coming through, despite there being air could come through. But in principle, or in theory, it has to be kind of airtight. So you can't have gaps and whatnot.
It has to be all around you, from the floor, from
Yeah,
from everywhere. Yeah,
and it has to be sealed.
sealed. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so this obviously gives me some relief, but it's not a lot, and it costs a lot of money to build.
Did you have contact to other TIs? I know there are TIs in Denmark too. I spoke with a woman some months ago. She was very kind, and she told me about her story. It was also very horrific what she's experiencing.
Yeah.
But I know there are a lot more in Denmark.
Okay.
Did you have any contacts to somebody or meetings or something like that in Denmark?
Yeah, I know the person that you're speaking of. I don't know if she's all right with me mentioning her name, but I know who you're speaking of, and I have also met another person called Lars Drudgar in the beginning there in 2012. He was part of an organization called ISAACT, but he has just disappeared. I don't know where he is. I haven't seen anything from him in years. So I don't know what's going on in that regard. But other than those two, I have not met anyone else.
Yeah, but there must be people, much more people in Denmark too.
I don't know.
I know there are many people in Germany. There are thousands in Germany. We are contacted from many people all the time. I get a lot of emails and I get a lot of calls.
Yeah.
But I know there are people worldwide. I think the most are in the US, but
Definitely, yeah.
there are a lot more people everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's important to be connected. Yeah. It's important to get in touch with other people. Otherwise, you get crazy. If you are alone with this huge problem, you get crazy after a while. You need people to talk. Yeah. To talk about your problems.
Yeah. But I suppose in this regard, this is where my small business has really saved my life, because I obviously use much of my time running my small business, which also affords me to earn a bit of money, despite being very restricted. And it also makes me meet people from general society all the time. And obviously people who get to meet you in person, quickly realized that the propaganda campaigns and psyops, which they are, psychological operations, that the government are running openly on a continuous basis, it just doesn't have any merit to it. It's just so overblown and just completely ridiculous that people often, because of my small business, realize this because they get to meet me and they get to buy my engines and they get to talk to me in that regard. So this is also one of the reasons why I'm being so ferociously attacked, especially in a PR sense. The propaganda against me and is so ferocious. I'm always being labeled this, that, or the other, or they're always trying to discredit me. And as I say, they are trying to use the things that they inflict on me, the bodily harm that they cause, especially with my indigestive system and my bladder problems. They're using that all the time as propaganda content to ridicule me.
Did you ever go to the police with the problem, or
Not the
did
police,
not the police, or
relevant authorities, the Justice Ministry, the watchdog with the intelligence agencies, the courts. I have tried all of these things. The attorney, the district attorney.
What did you do? Did you write letters to them or reports?
I have recently complained about the Danish intelligence agency, PET, to the watchdog with the intelligence agencies. I have done this for the second time. I'm laying all the facts out there in a comprehensive complaint, highlighting it as if it was a proper court document, and they're just not willing to do anything.
Did they answer? Did you get an answer from them?
Yeah, I get an answer from the watchdog with intelligence agencies, but they're not doing anything, despite this going on publicly. I'm telling them that it's going on publicly. They don't deny it. They don't confirm it. They don't do anything. They just give you a standard response. I have complained to the Ministry of Justice several times. They don't respond anymore. I have them on the phone calls as well with them, asking why they're not arresting me if they're accusing me of being some kind of sex criminal. On the same day that they're accusing me of something, and I'm calling them on the phone, and then they are not willing to talk about it, or they're not willing to send the police to have me interviewed or whatnot. So it's just a complete fraud, and that's how it's operating.
Do you also have visits in your home when you are not at home? Do people come into your house or into your flat?
I suspect so. I suspect.
But you have no traces or things moved around or stuff like that?
No. So they're doing it quietly. But obviously, if I'm not here, I also have alarm systems. My entire place here is kitted out with alarms. I have doors, outside doors that are locked from the inside. So I'm not going to say I live in a fortress, but I have kind of built it as such.
Yeah, but an alarm system is not a real good protection against them, because they can switch it out with an electromagnetic impulse. They can switch the alarm system out, and then they come inside. Sure, it's not so difficult to do this for them. Yeah.
But it's not connected to the internet. Let's put it that way. So it's not just it has to be more advanced. And as I say, I have locks on the outside as well. So it's a bit more, and I have lights everywhere, floodlights that go on if sensors come on. So I have made my place safer than it otherwise would have been.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah. It's very important to put something against the door from inside when you are sleeping, because when you go away, you cannot do anything to be safe, that your home is safe. But when you are at home, you don't want somebody to come inside of your home when you are sleeping and doing strange things to you. So you have to put something in front of the door that nobody can come inside. That's very important.
My shielded enclosure is also out of aluminium, and it closes on 3 different hinges to keep it very tight. So nobody's getting to me in my sleep at all. It's impossible without me waking up. You have to gas me or use an angle grinder to cut through the shielded room. So that's not happening. But I understand what you're saying. I don't eat out at all either. I don't do takeaways whatsoever. It's too dangerous or too disgusting. You don't know what people will do to your food. You don't know if it has something in it.
But
I'm
same at
very
home, yeah. They can come into your home when you're not at home and collect
true,
your food, yeah.
but it's easier to do it if you have takeaway. Let's put it that way, right?
Of
So
course,
you have to do what you can to keep yourself safe.
yeah. Well, that's a lot of stuff what is happening. Do you still have plans for the future? I think if somebody is attacked like you or like all the TIs, there are people don't have any plans. They just want to be free. They just want to have their freedom back again. Do you
Yeah.
have any plans or in your life?
Definitely. Yeah. I obviously want to start my training again, but it's very hard because it's not just me who's being attacked. It's also the people next to me or people in my vicinity are being electronically harassed. So that's difficult. I'm trying to earn enough money to buy my own house. That's what I'm working towards, and trying to just to last to last so long that it becomes impossible for the government to continuously keep this as an open secret, because it's only a matter of time before this technology is going to be commercially available. And when that happens, obviously this can't go on in the same kind of way that it is now.
Yeah, it's very important that we are doing our talk now, or that people talk about their torture, because if we don't go public, who else can be informed? Who can be informed about it? Who could
Yeah.
help us if we don't talk about it? So it's very important, I think. And most of the people are so afraid to talk what is
That's
going
it.
on.
Yeah.
And there are easy victims. If you are afraid, if you don't talk about it, if you are always at home and be quiet, you are an easy victim. I think it's better to go public, to go out, to tell about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's better for yourself. You feel better. It's a
Definitely.
release, but it's also better for your protection, because if you die tomorrow, people will see your video and they will see, okay, this person was a targeted individual, and they will think, oh, this is a little bit strange. Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody must have killed him. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a protection for us if we talk
Yeah.
about it openly.
Oh,
Yeah.
if I turn up dead tomorrow, the whole world will know that I have been killed. No doubt about that. So that makes they're not just going to kill me, but they can certainly make my life very, very miserable. And obviously, that's what they're doing. So there's always some kind of battle going on, trying to justify themselves. And you say the powers that be in the West are truly evil, and so many people don't really care what happens, and you can just see how this is the case in Palestine, where people are being genocided, and a huge portion of the population they don't really care.
No.
Uh, so, thinking that the general public, generally speaking, is going to care about targeted individuals is optimistic at best.
Yeah. We have to inform them. Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise it's going to be them, isn't it? That's the
Yeah,
whole.
this is the future. This is where the technology is going.
Yeah,
Today, it's maybe a few thousand people in the world, but in some years, it could be almost everyone. They can use this weapon against everybody and also against children, and they are using it against children because I hear from some persons, from
yeah,
some targeted individuals, I hear that they are attacking also their children. And every man or every woman who has children should take care about this problem and inform themselves and act, because tomorrow it can be your children who are attacked. This is very dangerous to the whole society.
yeah.
Yeah.
As you said earlier, it's incredible how so many people are willing to not to ask me any questions. But this is another example of what is going on. People are being indoctrinated to accept what is going on without asking questions. You see it with Corona as well, how many people are willing to just buy into the propaganda, how effective these vaccines were. But
Yes.
as we learn now, they're not effective at all, are they? So there's there's some huge developments going on in the world right now, especially in the Western world, where the powers that be, they want to control the populations completely with an iron fist. And this is what this program is here for. I believe that the targeting of me in public is to normalize these things that are going on towards me, and that's why they're flaunting the things that they're doing. See, we're doing this and we're doing it publicly, and you need to think it's all right. Otherwise, you're a terrorist, or you're an extremist, or you're a bigot. They can put any label on it that they want, and they do so.
It's also a kind of social experiment, isn't it? They
Yeah,
label you as a terrorist or as a
sex,
bad person, sex
yeah,
offender or something like that. And that means they can do everything they want with you.
yeah,
And there's no excuse. Well, he's just a bad person. We are allowed to do this. And this is
yeah,
what they want to establish for the future. That
yeah,
the state can do everything he wants just because they say this is a bad person.
yeah.
He deserves it. He deserves that we follow him, that we attack him, that we do what we do. And
Yeah, no due process, none at all. You don't get your day in court. You don't even get to know what they're accusing of you in any real detail. They will just label you without ever prosecuting you, and then they will just pump out propaganda all day long.
yeah, it is a little bit like the Stasi did in Eastern Germany. They did the same, but it was many years ago. So the technique has developed. It's now much more sophisticated, like it was then. Yeah, it was very maybe more primitive in the past, but now it's very sophisticated. Yeah.
So you would think the German people have a clear understanding of living through the Stasi and whatnot,
Well,
but
some do, but many think, yeah, this is the past and it's over, and now we live in a free society, we live in a free state, a state of laws, and nobody would do this to anybody today. This is what the DDR did, the German Democratic Republic, but it's gone now, it's over now, and now we live in a free country, and nobody would do this today. And this is the problem, that people
yeah,
don't understand that it's not over. It's still there. The methods are still there. The Western secret services overtook the methods from the Stasi, and they use the same methods today, more developed, more technically sophisticated. And it's the same today. We don't live in a free state. We don't live in a real democratic state. This is a lie. Yeah,
yeah.
it's an absolute lie. Yeah,
No, I 100% agree. I call it technocratic authoritarianism.
yeah,
So
absolutely,
yeah, so
absolutely.
they are technocratic. They're using technologies to advance their power, and they're doing it like dictators would in the old days, but with
Yeah.
technology.
But you don't see it, so it's not so obvious, because through technology there's a lot of things going behind that you don't see. They are under the ground, how to say. Yeah, they're hidden. There's a lot of hidden techniques that you don't see. You're
Sure.
not aware of it. Yeah.
They have nice packaging.
Yeah.
Yeah. It all looks very good on the outside. We do this for human rights and whatnot, but it's not true in any way, shape, or form. It's pretext.
Yeah. Stephen, I think our talk is going to the end. The time is
Sure.
almost over. Do you have something you want to say to our visitors, to the audience, to the people who watch the video? Some
Yeah,
last words?
yeah, but if you ever have the courage or willingness, just ask me if you have any questions about what they're accusing of me or what they are saying in their propaganda campaigns. You're welcome to ask me any question you want, and if you're a target individual, why not use the situation that is going on towards me, this public persecution of me with the target individual program? Why not use all this to our advantage? And use it in court cases in other instances. I'm more than willing and able to help people who are genuine, and let's get some movements going.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube. Or I can provide you with some links, and we can put them in the show notes. And yeah, then people get a hold of me that way.
Well, okay. I put the links under the video.
Yeah, thanks.
And if you want to contact Stephen, you can go there. And Stephen, I say thank you for coming. Thank you for talking tonight.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, I hope that you will get free, and I hope we will all get free someday.
Yeah.
And I hope that our video will help people to understand what is really going on in the world, that there are targeted individuals worldwide, everywhere, who are suffering very much from attacks from different technologies, stalking, physical attacks with directed energy weapons, remote neural monitoring, voice to skull technology, and so on, and a lot of harassment, like you told us tonight. There's a lot of harassment and destroying a people's life. There are a lot of methods how you can destroy a person's life, and nobody is doing something against it. Yeah, because people don't care. They don't believe us. This is the problem, and hopefully we can change this a little bit for the people who watch our video.
Yeah, we will do our best, that's for sure.
Yeah. Thank you, Stephen, and have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.